So we are with Constance Tsang. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Very good. And what are you doing here in Valladolid?
I am here presenting my film Blue Sun Palace at SEMINCI.
And did you hear about SEMINCI before? It's the first time?
I've heard about SEMINCI before, and it is my first time here.
And with this movie, had you been in other festivals?
Yeah, so we premiered the film. We had our world premiere at Cannes in Critics Week, and then shortly after, we've been traveling sort of all around the world. So I recently just came back from Busan in Korea, and then after SEMINCI, I'll be going to Taiwan for the Golden Horse Film Festival next. So it's been a lot of traveling.
No bad.
Yeah.
And later on we are going to talk about your movie, but keeping with the festivals, have you been in any Latin America or South American film festivals? By chance?
I don't want to say something that I don't know, but I think so. And I think this is, I believe that my sales agent charades can probably give you a better answer than I can.
Right. And do you know, because I'm writing for Latin American media,
okay.
do you know any, or do you have any experience with Latin American movies or any director or any film that you say, oh, this one is so good? Even Mexicans directors living in the USA is okay.
Oh, of course. I mean, there are several, I think, Latin American directors that I know and love, and I think a lot about the work of like Carlos Regadas, and I also think about the Brazilian filmmaker. I don't want to mispronounce his name, but Mendoza. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies from Regados is Japón, and there are definitely. I think it's a very rich cinematic culture.
And then your movie is about people coming from China living in the USA.
Yes.
How did you get the idea from your own life, from a book, from I don't know?
Definitely from own life. A lot of this film has to do with how I observed my parents when they moved here. So they came from Hong Kong, they moved to New York in the 1980s, and also from there, the community that they created. And of course, the film has a lot to do with my own personal reflections on grief and connection. So alongside of this sort of lived experience, it's very much rooted in, I think, my understanding of them and this community.
The role of the two stars in the movie, they look like they missed China. Is that a common sense or situation for the Chinese people in the USA, or is just an idea you wanted to transmit in the movie?
No, I mean, I think anyone living far from home, of course, will miss home. And I would say that because their homeland is so far away, that was something that I wanted to make sure to capture. And I think about even my mom's own sort of experience of being far away from her family, and how she often talks about moving back home. And I think something that is, or something that I want to capture in this particular film is how even that longing for homeland won't ever be, not necessarily impossible, but for them to live in America for so long and to go back home, it's not the same.
For you personally, if you could choose to live in Hong Kong or USA, which one do you choose? If you were super rich.
I think I would probably choose to live in an island somewhere.
Okay.
That would be my answer.
And how complicated it was to film in New York? Because we saw some, I think, Chinatown, no, with the Chinese party, New Year's. How was? Is it easy, or the permission are complicated to get?
Complicated because I would say that entering those spaces, they were all on location, so it was important for us not to disturb this working community and also be able to gain a sense of their trust. So a lot of the communication was very important for us to establish. We wanted to have as little bit of a footprint as possible and to kind of keep out of people's ways. So it was tough in that aspect, but also they were very interested and very welcoming, so we're very lucky to have that. But I would say that independent filmmaking in New York City is very, very hard.
How do you find the two main roles for the movie?
Well, for Amy, the actress that plays her, Keshi Wu, I saw her in a movie that she had starred and wrote in, and I found her to be just incredible, and I knew that she was someone that I wanted to work with very early on. And then with Hai Ping-soo, who plays Dee Dee, she was a recommendation, I think, from a friend who kind of was helping us cast. And then with Lee Kang-shen, obviously he was someone that I grew up watching. And I think many have asked about him and his collaboration with Simon Lang, and of course that was very iconic to me.
And then when we watched your movie, we saw the main roles mainly in the kitchen, in the restaurant, or the kitchen. It's like looks like from outside a ghetto. Do you think that maybe sometimes not the Chinese community, but also maybe the Mexican community, or they live like in ghettos, like only talking with people from the same community and living with the people from the same community, or it's not like that? I don't know, the real situation in New York?
I think that it's very, I don't want to generalize and say that all Chinese people live like this. I don't think that's really the case, but I think for the specific type of story I wanted to tell and the specific type of immigration experience, that was something that I wanted to capture. How these particular immigrants living here, these first generation immigrants, how they're creating a community for themselves. I do want to say that I think it's I wouldn't say ghetto is the right word to be used, but more so just like community.
Two more questions. Which is the to raise the fund for your money for your movie? You asked the Chinese government, the Hong Kong government, the USA government. How did you raise the money for this movie? Was mainly from the USA? Was shared with China? I don't know.
No, it was all private financing.
From the USA?
Yes.
And then to do the distribution, how do you think it's going to be complicated to do in China or in the USA?
So we have distribution in the US already. So we are releasing it in theaters in spring. So that's very, very exciting.
And how about in China and Hong Kong?
We are, I can't speak to distributing in China or Hong Kong. But I mean, hopefully we'll be able to distribute there.
Okay, well, good luck, not only in China, also in the rest of the world.
Thank you so
with the
much.
distribution of your movie.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you.